comeback win, their 20th to be exact. Moose, do you just get the feeling like this team is never out of it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd say never, but yeah, I mean, tonight you got a sense, especially when you're going up against the Cincinnati Red bullpen, that's just terrible. I mean, that's why they were going out there and trying to add arms like a Luis Cessa, like a Wilson from the Yankees. You know, they've had a lot of blown leads over the course of this baseball season. But, you know, after the Baez home run, you just got a sense they were going to have an opportunity in that ninth inning. They ended up tying it, winning extra innings. Brandon Drury is a guy that comes off the bench. You know, Maria, we've talked about the one thing that you look at this team this year more so than anything else is that you look at the organizational depth. I mean, we could look at the stars on this team. It added Baez, John at the MLB trade deadline. You know, the Mets team is a better team, but organizationally, they have greater depth this year than they have in quite some time, and you've seen that with Jonathan Villar, Kevin Pillar, you know, Brandon Drury, the guys that have been able to step in for the regulars and really perform, you know, and perform really, really well. And, you know, Brandon Drury, hats off to him. You know, a guy that's been with the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Arizona Diamondbacks, now finds himself with the Mets, and, you know, he is as hot as a firecracker right now. Luis Rojas and the Mets need to ride it out.
Bench mob has obviously played a big role in this season, Moose, but you think about this game, it feels like the Mets stole one. I mean, they're down to their final strike. You have the Jonathan Villar brain fart on the bases that, you know, doesn't allow Javier Baez to go and hit a game-tying home run. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Great piece of hitting by Dominic Smith against Sean Doolittle to go and tie the game. And then how about Edwin Diaz? Listen, Edwin Diaz takes a lot of heat from Met fans. He's put in a terrible predicament because of the extra inning rule to get out of that jam first and third, nobody out. Yes, the Reds bullpen stinks. Yes, the Mets took advantage of that terrible bullpen. But this team has had a little bit of a gutty vibe to it. They've pulled a lot of these games out of the fire. And that's why I think at the end of the day here, they're still going to have enough, even with the uncertainty surrounding Jacob deGrom until September. I still expect this team to go and win the division.
Well, good teams find a way. Meanwhile, JJ, an immediate impact by Javier Baez with that 2-run homer in his debut. Are you excited to see what kind of jolt he can provide down the stretch of the season?
Well, Marie, he plays with a lot of energy, and I think we saw that right out of the gate. You go back to his days with the Chicago Cubs, Javier Baez is flashy in the field. He's got terrific power. You're going to have to live with the strikeouts. You're going to have to live with the fact that he swings at a lot of bad pitches, including that at bat in the bottom half of the ninth inning. But when he's hitting bombs like that and getting you back into a ball game, Moose, this is a guy who can give the Mets much-needed power throughout the stretch run. And I think Baez, with the change of scenery, being back in a pennant race, you're going to get a really good brand of baseball from him, especially knowing that his free agency is coming up over the next couple months.
Yeah, listen, the Mets are a better baseball team. You look at what Javier Baez can provide this team. John, you went through it. I mean, what he is defensively. The fact that he's willing to move over to second base when Lindor's 100% healthy, you'll deal with the very fact of, you know, the swing and miss rate and all the strikeouts, having 131 before he got acquired by the Mets. With all of that being said, you know, he's had the penchant for the big moment. You've seen that out in Chicago with the Cubs, and this team needed a little bit of a jolt. There's no doubt about it. It did. I mean, Lindor, when healthy, wasn't the player he was in Cleveland. Conforto's really struggling and scuffling along. So as Sandy Alderson talked about, you know, the organization needed to make a move to add a player to show this team that this organization believes in them. We can scuffle along about, you know, what would have been the better acquisition, or should the Mets have done more? The Mets did something at the MLB trade deadline. Javier Baez has been a winning player. He's been a winning player in a big city in Chicago. He's not going to be turned off here by New York. So it was cool to see, and it's good to see a guy that just got acquired get off to a really good start, hitting that 2-run bomb against the Reds.
Yeah, nice to see that boost right away, and you hope he can keep it up.